Okay, this is Frank. It is the top of the hour, and I do want to get started right away. Thank you all for sharing lunch with the leaders. And I want to talk to you about a couple of different programs that we have. We have an exclusive 125% buy, fix, and flip program. And Michelle, with that program, what kind of credit do we need?
We need pristine credit.
And then we have another program that is 100% CLTV. And Alice, are you unmuted? No. So for the 100% CLTV program, you can have crappy credit. And so it's okay to have crappy credit. For the 100% CLTV, and you need to have what kind of credit for the 120?
Pristine credit.
There you go. Okay, so we're going to say that a couple of times so that throughout this presentation, so that you totally get it. You totally have to understand it. So I'm going to start with the 100% CLTV, where you need crappy credit. Now, of course, you can have good credit. You can have so-so credit. You can have no credit at all. On the 100% CLTV, the CLTV stands for Combined Loan to Value. So if you had a $500,000 residential property or commercial property, it's for either one. If you had a $500,000 property, what we're going to do is we're going to loan up to 60% of a residential property, up to 50% of a commercial property. So let's just pick on the commercial property because it makes my life easier. If you had the $500,000 property and it was commercial, we're going to lend up to $50,000 on that. And, $250,000 on a $500,000 property, or 50% of the value of the property. And this program is not going to fit everybody. So be made aware. This isn't going to fit everybody. The seller has to be a distressed, motivated seller. The buyer can be motivated or not, doesn't matter. But the seller must be a motivated seller. If there are multiple offers on the table, our offer more than likely will not be accepted. But if you've got a good salesman behind you, it could be accepted. And I'll explain how in a minute. So if you have a motivated seller, let me paint a picture. The motivated seller has been trying to sell this building for 1 or 2 years. It could be the heirs of grandpa who's passed away now, and the grandkids don't want the building. They want to get rid of it, and they can't find a buyer for it. Or it might be somebody who's trying to avoid paying a lot of capital gains taxes. I have to say that we are not attorneys. We're not anybody who requires a license. We are not investment counselors. So anything that I say is just my opinion. But it's my opinion that if you got a $500,000 because of the sale of that building, you're going to pay a whole lot more tax than if you got $250,000 for the building and then you own or finance the rest. So that's how sometimes people who want a tax break, but they want to stretch it out, they don't necessarily have to be a distressed seller. They could just not want to pay all that capital gains tax all at once. They might want to stretch it out over a period of time. And that is how the 100% CLTV works. So with that, you do not need good credit. Actually, you could have crappy credit, or you could have great credit. It doesn't matter, because we're not looking at you, the borrower. When I say you, I'm not talking about you, the agent. I'm talking about you, the borrower. So we're not looking at you, the borrower. We're looking at the building itself. So if, okay, somebody's making a ton of noise, mute yourself. Okay, Rev Lee, you're making a ton of noise. Okay, all right, so, and that just distracts me when that happens. Okay, so when we're looking at the 100% CLTV loan, we're looking for motivated sellers. They could be motivated by many, many, many different factors. It doesn't have to be a bad neighborhood or anything like that. It could be any factor that you don't know that causes the seller to want to accept our product, our offer. If our borrower comes to them and is willing to give, let's say, for example, it's an inheritance, willing to give the grandkids $250,000 right now and make payments over the next couple of years, then that might be exactly what the grandkids are looking for. That might be exactly what the probate attorney has been looking for. So just keep your mind open when we say 100% CLTV and you can have crappy credit. It's because literally you don't need to have any credit at all. So that is the 100% CLTV program. Now, the 125% buy, fix, and flip requires what kind of credit, Michelle?
Pristine credit.
Pristine credit. In other words, you have to have 680 or above. You have to have 50% debt to income or below. You have to have no derogatories, no negatives, and no collection showing no matter how old they are. We have to have pristine credit. You have to have very clean credit. So Frank, are you saying that if I don't have pristine credit, I can't do a buy, fix, and flip? No, I'm not saying that at all. Actually, we have a chart, and in our chart, we go from 680, and we'll give 125% of the purchase price of the property. Actually, we'll give you working capital before you even find the property. Working capital to go look for the property. Working capital to put money down on the property. Working capital to pay closing costs on the property. So if you have that pristine credit, 680 or above. If you have 600 or above, you may not get the working capital, but you can get up to 90% of the buy, fix, and flip. So in other words, you'd have to come up with 10% of your own capital. And if you have less than 600, if you had 550, it goes down from there. So just because you don't have this, your buyer doesn't have 680 or above, that does not mean he gets knocked out of the buy, fix, and flip program. It just means that he doesn't get the working capital up front. That's all that it means. So the difference between the exclusive 125% where you need, come on, help me out, Michelle. She's not going to do it. Pristine credit.
I'm trying to unmute. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. And the 100% CLTV, where you can have crappy credit. The difference between the two is you have to find that motivated seller with the 100% CLTV and practically anybody with the 125% buy, fix, and flip program. The buy, fix, and flip program can apply to buy, fix, and flip, buy, fix, and hold, and we're bringing on other programs where you can do buy, fix, and rent. So we have a number of programs that we're bringing in. Every week we're finding another program to make our agents different and better than everybody else. We are stacking the deck in the favor of our agents, so our agents have no competition, because very few people, if anybody at all, are doing the kinds of things that we're doing. Are there any questions so far before I go on? Come on, Jeff, you got to always have a question. Flossie, do you have a question? Come on, somebody help me out. Rose, do you have a question? No questions. Okay.
Hey, Frank, I have a question.
Great. Who is this?
This is Eve.
Eve. Hey, Eve. What is your question?
So, what happened to the credit sterilization process? Are you guys no longer doing that, offering that?
Oh, my God. No, don't say that. You know, we're bringing on new programs every day, practically. The credit sterilization program is going to be one of our programs that will make everybody have pristine credit. That's credit sterilization program is a big, big thing. So everyone is going to be entitled to go with that. So Michelle, can we have a little discussion, Michelle?
Yes.
About the deal that just got no names. Don't use any names. Use initials or whatever. But you just turned somebody in for a PTL.
Yep.
Okay. What is a PTL?
Personal term loan.
Okay. And what was his credit looking like?
His credit was really, in my opinion, it was great, and the scores were great. He had one collection on his credit bureau. One.
Okay, so one collection on the credit bureau, and what happened to him?
Denied.
Denied. So in the eyes of the company's underwriters, he did not have pristine credit. So had he gone through the credit sterilization program with far in excess of the requirement for income, far in excess for the requirement for paying all of the rest of his bills. Everything was in excess of the necessary, but because there was one collection from many moons ago, he got declined. Had he gone through the credit sterilization program, he would have pristine credit, and he would have qualified for the 125% buy, fix, and flip. And with the buy, fix, and flip, we can also, this is an extra bonus, we can also add the personal term loan. Now with the buy, fix, and flip, we give on average $75,000 worth of working capital. With the personal term loan, Michelle, help me out. How much do you think he would have qualified for?
Easily, probably at least 100K, if not more.
So if you're working with borrowers, real estate agents, brokers, contractors, RIA groups, if you're working with those kind of people and you have these kind of tools, you should be inundated with clients to sell to. If the person, no names mentioned, if that person had gone through the 125, he'd have had at least $75,000 working capital. With the personal term loan added to that, he'd probably have another 100. So this person would have had $175,000 to go out shopping for a piece of property. Tell me, anybody, do you think that person would be able to find a piece of property to buy, fix and flip, buy and hold, buy and invest, buy and rent? Anybody? Anybody? Come on.
Yes, of course.
Okay. All right. That's what makes us separate, different, and unique than everybody else. The programs that we have are just incredible. And Evie, thank you very much for that question about the credit sterilization. Absolutely, we love that program. I'm going to fly through some screens in case anybody missed that program. I'm going to fly through some screens here, hopefully get to that program. Right. I tried to shut that phone off. Okay. Okay. I am. I forget where it was. Okay.
After one is sterilized, then they have like 0 credit. So
whoa,
are we going to be?
Who's calling? Who's talking?
Oh, sorry. Hi, Frank. This is Rose.
Hey, Rose.
Hi
Welcome.
there.
Aloha.
Yes, sir.
Aloha.
Aloha, 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 aloha. So, question, after they get sterilized, of course they're sterilized, they're zeroed out, no derogatory, no credit. So what is one of the best methods of recommendation to build that credit so they have that 680 and up? Like go get some credit cards and, you know, just start creating the credit line to reflect that so that they can then qualify and have that pristine credit?
Well, before we go down that road, I want to correct you, Rose. If they have some good credit, like the guy we were talking about, and they have some bad credit, like everybody in the world, all we do is we get rid of all of the negatives and all of the derogatories in 14 to 30 days. So in 14 to 30 days, all of their negatives and their derogatories are completely wiped out. If they were paying for their house, paying for their car, paying some of their credit cards, we would allow those to remain. And when we allow those to remain, the credit would jump from the 5s to the 769. And if you're looking at the screen right now, I'm about to say, I'm about to show you exactly how that credit sterilization program works. So to answer your question, they don't come back with a 0. They come back with a humongous high number if they've got
because you keep the good
and some bad. If they've got all bad, some people have had all bad. Their credit is a train wreck. There is nothing but bad. Well, they're going to unfortunately go down. And again, like you said, they're only going to have 350 FICO. That's the lowest number. So they'll have a 350 FICO. And then we have trade lines that we can add to it to bring
piggyback.
All right, so let's get to this. So this is our flagship program. And what if the investors don't qualify because of their credit? Well, many won't. However, we can solve that problem too, introducing credit sterilization. 14 days to a completely clean credit report. We're saying 14 to 30 days because of the government shutdown, We've got a huge backlog because of it, but we are working through it. Let me introduce you to Robert. Robert has been fighting with the credit bureaus for 2 years. He has tried credit repair, and everybody knows that doesn't work. He's tried credit restoration companies, and they're okay. As a matter of fact, we have one that we work with. However, it does take anywhere from 30 to 90 to 120 days. And they take from 3 to 6 months on average. Then he heard about the credit sterilization. In 14 days, he went from a train wreck to perfectly clean credit report. He had 0 present negatives. He had 0 past negatives. He had 2 inquiries even after much loan shopping. He was shopping. He had 30, 40 inquiries on his account from all of the people that declined him. Okay, so now he only has 2 inquiries, and those 2 inquiries are attached to the 2 good accounts that he previously had. Here are his actual scores. If you look up in the top here, this is Mr. Robert. We're not showing his last name. He went from the low 5s to 750, 756, and 756. So does that answer your question, Rose? This is a list of
Yes, sir.
This is a list of some other people that we put through the program. This is the Equifax report. This is what they started with, 694, 756, a 62-point gain. Here's one, 615, 769, 154-point gain. 631, 718, 87-point gain. 514 to 548, a 34-point gain. That's in Experian. We have, that was Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. All of them. We have tremendous gains on every one of them. So even though somebody has a train wreck, if they've got some good and some bad, they're going to end up with pristine credit, and they'll be able to go for a 125% buy, fix, and flip program. We're bringing on other programs as well, like the personal term loan, where you can combine that with the working capital from the 125%, and you can literally double the amount of money that you have in your pocket when you go out to shop for properties. In other words, we are giving you so many tools that are above and beyond what any other loan officer or finance agent has available to them. We're giving you so many tools that there's absolutely no reason why you can't go to the RIA groups, real estate agents, real estate investors individually, private, Craigslist, newspaper ads, and you should be inundated with people that you can help, whether they have crappy credit or if they have pristine credit, and anything in between. Any other questions? It is getting up on the half hour. I like to keep this to 30 minutes when I can. Anyone else have any questions?
Frank, this is Judy. Just one question that's come up. What is the agent commission on a sterilization program?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
What does the agent get as a commission when they sell a sterilization program?
Oh, fantastic question. All right, as an agent, if you sell this program, the program for the sterilization is $2,500. That's $2,500. And that is cheap when you consider what I just said about the pristine credit. When you're an agent selling that product, you get a 10% commission or $250. If you're a pro agent because you stepped up to the plate and you've upgraded to pro agent, you get $375 for selling that product. On top of the commission, because you just made that person qualify for pristine credit, and he can now buy whatever he wants to buy. There you go. Does that answer that question, Judy?
Yeah, I just wanted to have that clarified for everybody that's on the call. And I'm here for you.
Okay, so I want to introduce Judy. Judy is one of our certified underwriters who is working dedicated to you. Michelle is one of our certified underwriters who's dedicated to working with you. Laura is one of our certified underwriters dedicated to you. Each one of the agents and the clients will be assigned to one of the four agents, one of the four underwriters. Laura, Michelle, Judy, and Alice are all certified underwriters, and they all work for you. They will get your deals done. You contact the ones that you're assigned to, and if you don't not assign anyone, contact Michelle, and she will assign someone to you, and that will be your dedicated underwriter who will help you get your deals over the finish line. In other words, our team is here to give you every unfair advantage over your competitors. We are going to give you the tools where you can squash your competitors. There will be no competitors.
And Frank,
Right.
just wanted to make sure it's clear that the policy from our vendor has changed because they had a number of people who went all the way through, got their credit cleaned up, and never paid. So it's no longer just taken out of the back end.
Okay,
They're asking 10% down.
Would you like to tell us what it is? Because I haven't told anyone,
Yes,
but it wasn't. So tell us what it is.
it is. It is a minimum of 10% down and then a payment plan that they have to agree to and submit as part of their contract. They're like to see at least 10% a month. More is better. It may get the client through a little faster. And at the same time, they are somewhat negotiable if they have cases that need to be handled a little differently, such as a fixed income client or something like that. So
I
it's
love
still
that.
$2,500, but now they have to pay 10% or more upfront.
Okay, so let me get this right. It's 10% or more down.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you can afford, they like to see 10%, but whatever you can afford per month until your loan comes through, and then you can pay it off with the proceeds of your loan.
Right.
Okay.
That's perfect. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Frank, this is Flossie.
1 second. Let me just introduce everyone to Judy again. Judy is now the one in charge of the the credit sterilization program. Judy, if you would shout out your contact information.
It's in the chat box already.
Go ahead.
It's in the chat box already.
Okay.
It's Judy, Judi, at easyfinancialgroupllc.com. And my best phone number is 678-894-9422 or Skype Coach Judy, live.Coach Judy, Judi.
Okay. Now go ahead, Flossie. Thank you.
I was going to ask you, Frank, do you offer debt consolidation, personal?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. I just need to ask that question to someone. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, with that, we have actually gone past the half hour. So if there are any final questions, quick questions, I'll answer them. Otherwise, as he waited a minute, no other questions? Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for coming on board. I just want you to totally get it. We want you to succeed more than you want you to succeed. We want you to have every possible tool that you can go out and you can crush the competition until there is no competition. And I'm doing everything in my power to make that happen. And with that, I'm going to say God bless, and everyone have a great rest of the day.